Hello class 9 students. We have come to the last paragraph of this chapter, and what we have seen so far is that the person um, means takes an oath from Pip that he would definitely bring that file and victuals which he had asked for, and for that he scares Pip almost to death, um, and talks of another person who is there, who is more dangerous, and how he also talks about how dangerous this person is. And then when finally they leave, means they bid good night to each other, we find that this person limps towards the low church wall, and then he carefully makes his way through the nettles and the brambles, and then he also there are graves, so he carefully walks and limps. Okay, limps means means his legs are bound in chains, so naturally he won't be able to walk very fast, so he just drags and he takes himself to the low church wall, and then he crosses it. But the way he crosses it, it shows that he is means the numbness in his legs, and he constantly means not constant, means he also turns around and see what Pip is doing, and Pip also watches him. And as soon as there comes a situation where they can be once again face to face, Pip just turns back and runs home, and he never stops. And after that, Pip looking over his shoulders, Pip finds that he goes towards the river, making his way carefully through the means step by stepping on the stones that are there in the marshes. So this is where we stopped. The marshes were just a long black horizontal line then, as I stopped to look after him, and the river was just another horizontal line, not nearly so broad, not yet so black, and the sky was just a row of long, angry red lines and dense black lines intermixed. So from this description we can understand that Pip is seeing the things from quite a distance. Okay, so where the river comes as a black horizontal line, and also and also the marshes also as a black horizontal line, and the sky appears to be red and black. So as if you remember that it was Pip said that it was in one raw afternoon towards evening. So now it's almost, means the sun has set, but still the light is there, and so there's the redness in the sky, and also black that's gradually getting dark, so everything was intermixed, so that gives the color of the sky. On the edge of the river, I could faintly make out, faintly because he's seeing from quite a distance, only two black things in all the prospect that seemed to be, in all the prospect means probably, okay, he was not, means he could not see very clearly, standing upright. One of these was the beacon by which the sailors steered, like an unhooked cast upon a pole. That is, the beacon light which moves around and helps sailors during the night to, steer their ship. An ugly thing when you were near it. The other, a gibbet. Gibbet is the gallows. Gallows means where you hang people. with some chains hanging to it, which once held a pirate. So that that gibbet, that gallows, had some chains, okay, hanging from there. It seemed that somebody was there, and that person was bound in chains. The man was limping towards this ladder. So the man was limping towards the ladder means towards the gibbet, and as if he were a pirate come to life and come down, as if he were a pirate. That is, when I saw that gibbet, it made me think that maybe somebody was bound by those chains, and that person had made himself free or had been freed, so the chains were hanging. But now what I found is that convict, he was moving towards those gibbet. So I think that convict had broke himself free from these chains and had gone there, and once again he was coming back to it, as if the pirate had come to life and come down and going back to hook himself up again. So he was going back to his place from where he came from, and he was going to bind himself in those chains once again. It gave me a terrible turn when I thought so. So this very thought, okay, that a person broke himself free, but there is no way of escape. He has to once again go back and once again go through those same torment, same torture, was something which horrified this little boy, Pip. And as I saw the cattle lifting their heads to gaze after him, even the cattle, remember some cattle were grazing in the marshes, so the cattle also lifted their heads to gaze at him, to look at him. I wondered whether they thought so too. So as if Pip and the cattle both were equally compassionate or sympathetic towards this convict. Means compassionate means felt sorry for this person, how at the plight of this person, okay, what they felt pity for this convict. I looked all around for the horrible young man. I could see no signs of him. But then, Pip suddenly remembered the convict speaking of the young man. So he looked around. Where is the young man who was watching everything? But he could find no one. But now I was frightened again and ran home without stopping. So he had stopped in his way. So now he became frightened once again because he remembered that young man, and he just went home without stopping. But what we can understand is that there was no young man as such. It was just because this person was desperate in getting those things. That is the reason why he spoke of this young man, to scare Pip to such an extent, so that in no way will Pip fail to bring what he had asked for, or fail to obey him, or dare to disobey him. So there we end. That is the end of this chapter. Hope you have understood it. Thank you, students.